Hello everyone, warm regards to all. This is CA Rekha Karthik and you are watching this on our YouTube channel CA Sansar. Our today's topic of discussion will be on corporate social responsibility. As you all know that corporate social responsibility is very important in today's corporate world. And if we want to understand CSR in a layman's language, it means that any activity carried out by the corporate for the well-being and for the betterment of its society, environment, and for the nation as a whole. So today we are going to discuss a lot on corporate social responsibility, and I'm sure it will be very useful for every one of us, and so that we can implement this in the corporate scenario. So let's see the table of content. This is the table of content which we are going to discuss today. Let's quickly start with the introduction. So, as we all know that India is the first country in the world who has implemented CSR through an amendment to the Companies Act 2013. CSR brings a lot of corporate advantage to these corporates also who are implementing CSR. The benefits which the corporate derives by implementing CSR is enhanced access to capital and market, increased sales and profit, efficient human resource base, improved brand image and reputation, enhanced customer loyalty, and better decision making and risk management process. So these are the few benefits which the corporate derives by implementing the CSR, and there are so many benefits as well. So we will understand the need for CSR. So CSR is generally understood as a way through which a company achieves a balance of economic, environmental, and social imperatives, and also meeting the expectation of its shareholders and stakeholders. So being socially responsible, will that just mean to fulfill the legal obligations? No, it means that going beyond the legal obligations and investing more on human resource base, environment, as well as stakeholders relations. So now let's understand the applicability of the CSR, to which companies CSR is applicable. So CSR is applicable to every company, its holding company, subsidiary, as well as foreign company. And there are three conditions. Upon meeting any one of the criteria, the company will come under the purview of CSR, and company has to fulfill the CSR obligations. So the three conditions are as follows. If net worth of the company is more than 500 crores, if turnover is more than 1000 crores, and if net profit is more than 5 crores. So as we all know that if any one of the conditions is fulfilled by the company, then company will come under the purview of the CSR. And most of the companies will fall under category 3, that is net profit more than 5 crores. So in that case, company has to be CSR compliant. Now let's understand the role of the CSR committee, its composition and functions. So board of directors plays a pivotal role in the implementation of CSR. It has to assure that CSR has been implemented properly, and the board of directors is also responsible to make sure that company makes an expenditure of minimum of 2% of its average net profit made during the 3 immediately preceding financial year as per the CSR policy. And also the board of directors are responsible to make sure that the activities which are undertaken by the company are as per the CSR policy, and there is no deviation in the activities from the CSR policies. Apart from this, the board is also responsible to form a CSR committee, and they have to disclose this in their board reports. So now what is CSR committee? What are its composition and its functions? So let's understand this. CSR committee composition. CSR committee will have minimum of 3 directors. Out of 1 should be an independent director. And in case of unlisted private and public companies, the CSR committee should have 2 directors, and there is no requirement of independent directors. The same is also in the case of foreign companies. There should be minimum of 2 directors, and same there is no requirement of independent directors. And in these 2 persons, one should be an Indian resident who is authorized to accept and render services on behalf of the foreign companies. Also, the second person should be nominated by the foreign company. Now let's understand the functions of the CSR committee. So CSR committee is responsible to formulate and recommend the CSR policy to boards and activities which has to be taken in alignment with the Schedule 7. I will discuss the Schedule 7 in the next slide. So what are the activities which the companies can undertake has to be recommended by the CSR committee. And CSR committee is responsible to recommend the board the amount of expenditure it has to incur. And it is very important that the CSR committee has to monitor the CSR policies from time to time and make sure that there is no deviation in the CSR policies and company is in par with the CSR policy. It should not do any activity which is not mentioned in the CSR activity or which is not as per Schedule 7. So now let's first understand what are the activities which the company can undertake and which it is as per the Schedule 7. So in this slide, there are the activities which says that what CSR activities can be carried out by the company. So I will just read this. It says promotion of education, social business projects, environmental stability, eradication of hunger and poverty, general equality and women empowerment, employment enhancing vocational skills, combating HIV or AIDS, maternal or any other disease, contribution to PM Relief Fund and any other state funds or any other funds, other as may be prescribed by the government. So these are the broad categories, broad expenditure which the company can take to get, company can do to be for the CSR expenditure. So now if the company want to contribute to any corpus of the trust, society or Section 8 companies, so instead of directly contributing or directly doing the expenditure in Schedule 7, company can also contribute to the corpus of trust, so Section 8 companies and society. But the company has to make sure that the activities which the Section 8 companies undertake should be in par with the Schedule 8 activities. So the company has to make sure that any activities which the companies carry, the Section 8 companies is created exclusively for the purpose which are directly relatable to the objects as mentioned in Schedule 7. So it has to be noted that the activities should not deviate from Schedule 7 activities. Now let's understand there are certain activities which are not covered under CSR. So what are those activities? If any expenditure the company incurs which benefits only the employees of the company and their families, then certainly that will not form part of the CSR expenditure. Simultaneously, if any amount contributed to political parties, whether directly or indirectly, then definitely that will not form part of CSR activity. Any expenditure which the company has to anyway incur as per legal obligations or by any statute or act, and any expenditure on advertisement, sponsorship of TV programs or any awards, then that will not form part of CSR activities. So these are broadly certain aspects which will not be covered as CSR activity. Now let's understand the other provisions. Suppose if a company want to have their own CSR capabilities and build through their own personnel, then company can do so. But there is a condition that the administrative expenditure should not be more than 5% of the total expenditure which the company has to spend on the CSR activity in that particular financial year. So administrative overhead should be less than 5% of the total CSR expenditure. In that case, the company can have their own CSR personas and build their own CSR capabilities. And it has to be noted that any surplus out of this activity should not be included in the company's profit. Also, the annual report of the board of directors should mention the activities, and it should be reported in the annexure, which is mentioned by the company's rules, CSR rules 2014. Okay, now let's understand that. Suppose if a company has made an overspend or underspend during the particular financial year, then what will happen in that case? So let's take an example. Instead of 2% of average net profit, the company has spent 3% during a particular financial year, and the company want to carry forward the excess expenditure of this year to the next financial year. Then can the company do so? Then for this, the ICAI has come forward and clarified that any expenditure, any excess expenditure made on CSR in a particular financial year cannot be carried forward to next year. The board has to report this in their board report, and in the next year, again, the company has to make a fresh calculation for spending the 2%, which is required by the Act. So that the amount spent on CSR can never be carried forward to next year. Now, what will happen if a company has done the underspending? So, supposing the company has to spend on CSR of rupees 2 lakhs, but the company has spent only 1.5 lakhs. Then what will happen to the balance unspent amount of 50,000? Can the company carry it forward and spend it in the next financial year? Is it possible? So as of now, there is no penal provisions, and the company cannot carry forward the CSR expenditure to next year. It has to be spent in the same financial year. And as of now, there is no separate penalty section for CSR. But yes, the board of directors has to give the proper reasoning and explanation as to why they have not spent the amount. And if the board of directors fails to give the proper explanation on the unspent amount, then liability penalty under section 134 subsection 8 will attract, which says that in case of deviation on unspent amount, company will be punishable with a fine that shall not be less than 50,000 and which may extend to 25 lakh rupees. Also, every officer in default shall be punishable with an imprisonment for a term extending to 3 years, and also a fine which shall not be less than 50,000 but which may extend to 5 lakhs, and or both. And also section 450 is the penalty section. It says that when there is no specific penalty, in case of contravention of any such provisions, every officer in default shall be punishable with a fine extending up to rupees 10,000, and where the contravention is continuing one, a further fine which may extend to rupees 1,000 for every day after the first during which the contravention continues. So these are certain penalty provisions on the unspent amount. Now let's understand the initiatives of MCAs for CSR compliance. MCA has taken many initiatives from time to time to make the companies more CSR compliant, and we will discuss few among them. So MCA has launched CSR portal, National CSR Data Portal, and in that the MCA it says that it has been created for driving accountability and transparency in the society, in the corporate world, and the data has been taken from the company's director report, which has been filed by the company in the MCA portal. It has been launched to achieve the higher compliance and transparency in the corporate world from the CSR data portal. Also, the MCA has recommended on 26th April 2018 that any unspent amount by the corporates during a particular financial year has to be transferred to central government designated accounts. And such designated accounts are PM National Relief Fund, Clean Ganga Fund, Swachh Bharat Kosh, and so on. So in any one of these accounts, the company can transfer the unspent amount. Now, as we all know that Government of India is taking many steps to tackle the spread of novel coronavirus, and one such step among them is the Government of India has announced that any activity which is carried out for the relief work of CSR will be covered under CSR expenditure. So this is definitely a win-win situation for all the corporates, because there are many corporates who want to contribute to the relief work of CSR, and also simultaneously they want to meet the statutory obligations. So in that case, the companies can definitely now make the expenditure on COVID-19 relief work under PM CARES Fund, which is the account for COVID-19 relief work, and that will be treated as CSR expenditure. Now let's understand the CARO 2020 amendment. So the MCA has announced on 25th of February 2020 that any amount which is unspent has to be transferred to specified central government accounts as per Schedule 7 of the Companies Act, and it should be done within 6 months of the expiry of that particular financial year. And also, any unspent amount has to be transferred to special account based on Section 135 of Companies Act. So the auditor has to now report on the unspent amount of this CSR. So this is the responsibility of the auditors with the current amendments. So that's all about CSR as a bird's eye view. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you find this video useful, then please like and subscribe to CSNSR. Thank you.